And welcome back, everyone, to the Bitcoin Business Bureau. I'm your host, as always, Litecoin Leader. It's another day for ALTCOINopoly, another coin, another spot on the board. Today's coin is a particular use and a great use case for decentralized finance. This coin is a top 20 coin. It's only a few years old, but it's almost as if we can't live it without it going forward. I can't talk today. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everyone, to the Bitcoin Business Bureau. I'm your host, as always, Litecoin Leader. We're talking ALTCOINopoly. We're talking another piece on the board, another space, another key cog in the whole contest. We're getting close to the end. We still have the rest of the month to go, but you got to start tracking your coins for sure. You can subscribe to LitecoinLeader.com so you can win the big prize. Today's coin is a top 20 coin. It's the leader in its category. It's a huge piece of decentralized finance. It's amazing it's only been around for a few years, but I can't imagine the world of finance without it going forward. So what coin am I talking about? Let's dig in. Just a quick reminder that nothing in this video is considered financial advice. I am not your financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Seek out your own advice and do your own diligence, do your own research. Once again, we start with the blank board of ALTCOINopoly, 35 spaces to fill in, and we're going to focus once again on Zone 2 today. And Zone 2 is our DeFi and finance sector. Now, one of the most prestigious spaces on the board in Section 2 is the very last space, and that is reserved for the top coin that I believe fit in the DeFi finance coin, and that is the #1 Oracle coin. It's a top 15 project, and that coin is Chainlink, otherwise known as Link. And that gets the top spot. Chainlink is the #1 Oracle, and Oracle is a coin or a project that provides independent validation of the price of a coin or project. But the blockchain or apps cannot just ask CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, or any other website what the price of a coin is. There has to be something out there that gives a price of a coin, and that's what an Oracle does. So Chainlink is a coin that runs on the Ethereum platform. It is the #1 Oracle that's out there. It's used in hugely popular in the DeFi sector, the DeFi space. Many of the DeFi apps that are out there use Chainlink as their reference for price points, and that's why Chainlink is so popular. So Chainlink gets the spot at the top of the board in Section 2, Zone 2, the last space on the DeFi finance spot. And now let's take a look at the news for Chainlink. In order to really understand what Link's role is in decentralized finance or DeFi, we have to go over a few terms. First, decentralized finance. What is that all about? DeFi or decentralized finance means in doing financial things that are not with centralized entities like a Coinbase, or an exchange. A Coinbase, a Gemini, a Kraken, a Binance US, a Binance International, KuCoin, you name an exchange, that's a centralized entity. So the reason that people want to get away from centralized entities is because it's third-party risk. If Coinbase goes down, if Kraken goes down, or if Gemini has an issue, your trades are at risk, or the coins you have on those exchanges are at risk. So the purists about cryptocurrency are all about decentralization. They want to be their own bank. They don't want to rely on any third parties or have any counterparty risk. So how do you create a trustless situation where you can make trades or do orders or buy and sell crypto, and the answer, or without third-party risk? And the answer is decentralized finance. So everyone's told, not your keys, not your coins. You want to have your coins and your keys into your own private wallet. The issue is if you want to do certain types of trades or orders, there are very limited ways to do that without using some type of third party. Now you can go into a swap site like a Uniswap or a Sushi Swap, Pancake Swap, all those different swaps. All those require a third party. So to do something that is purely a decentralized exchange transaction, you need a few things. And one of those things you need is an Oracle. What an Oracle does is it provides information to the blockchain or an app working with the blockchain that does not exist on the blockchain. Blockchains are meant to be all by themselves. So what an Oracle does, and this article from CoinDesk does a pretty good job of explaining it very briefly at the top. It's an oracle sends data from the outside world, such as a fact, like daily temperature, number of votes, price of a coin, a sports score, and something that is information that's not available on the blockchain. It sends it to the blockchain. So that is information that's provided via a smart contract to be interacted with the blockchain. So the typical example is a smart contract. Now, a smart contract can be written such that to execute what's known as a limit order. So if you go on Coinbase and you have a wallet that has 500 of USDC and it has 500 Cardano, you may want to say, I will sell my 500 Cardano if Cardano gets to $2. Or I may buy 500 Cardano if the price gets to $1 or 1 per USDC. So how do you execute those things? On Coinbase, you would deposit your assets into Coinbase, creating a third-party risk because now you have to rely on Coinbase, and you put in a limit order saying, I want to do those two things. I want to sell 500 Cardano if it gets to $2, or I will buy 500 Cardano at a cost of 1 USDC, and I will put the order in with my USDC. So there's two limit orders that you put into the Coinbase system. To do that outside of a centralized entity with a decentralized exchange or a DEX, you need information that is outside of the blockchain. So the blockchain may know the price of a coin. It may know how. It needs to know how many coins you have. It needs to know what you have available, and it needs to be able to record things onto the blockchain. So the outside information is what's in your wallet, such as how many USDC or how many Cardano, and what is the price of this coin. They need independent confirmation of a price. So in Oracle, the number one feature that an Oracle does, it provides outside information of what is the current price, in this example, Cardano. What is the price of Cardano? How do we know what the price of Cardano is? We can't tell a blockchain, hey, go look at CoinGecko or look at CoinMarketCap. That's not a function for the blockchain. A dApp or a decentralized application can be written to do that using a smart contract. So you can write a smart contract that provides the contents of your wallet, a function to go and check the price of an asset, and then an if-then type statement, which is if Cardano reaches $2, then sell my 500 Cardano. Or if Cardano gets to $1 or 1 Cardano for 1 USDC, then take the 500 USDC and exchange that for the Cardano. All those can be written through a smart contract, but the information that's needed to be provided is the contents of your wallet, which you can provide on your own, and the price of the coin. The price of the coin is where Chainlink comes in. Chainlink provides independent evaluation of the price of a coin. That is function number one. Now, if you look at the web page for Chainlink, Chainlink is clearly the number one oracle out there. It has first mover advantage. It is the biggest coin that's out there in the oracle space. Here's a list of the oracles right now. Before I delve into the Chainlink page, Chainlink is clear and away the number one oracle by far. It's the number 15 coin. Market cap is $8.5 billion. The second one is really Band Protocol. It's like not even 250 million. So it's more than 30 times smaller than Chainlink. So Chainlink is definitely the number one oracle that's out there providing price information to decentralized exchanges. And it also has the benefit of it's on the Ethereum blockchain. So it has access to all the prices of all the contract coins, all the ERC20s, all the NFTs that run on the Ethereum blockchain. Now, Chainlink is building further and further, and I'll go into that a little bit on the page. And it starts to explain, you can contact the outside world through a smart contract with a function like Chainlink and provide outside data to the blockchain for the purpose of executing a smart contract. So that's used in a number of different, 80% of all the dApps that are running in DeFi need an oracle. So an oracle is a huge value, and it really, without an oracle, DeFi or decentralized finance basically could not function. So lending with Aave, Synthetic, Celsius, Ampleforth, all these different companies that partner with Link, you couldn't function without an oracle, so that you could have, if you're providing interest or if you're providing returns on an investment, again, you need to know the price of a coin. So you need to know independently what is the price of Cardano, Link, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and so on. So that is what an oracle provides. Digging further on Chainlink's page, it explains a lot of what it does. Again, smart contracts, lots of DeFi and examples, and it shows the roadmap of, like, you can work with NFTs, you can get random numbers, do a blockchain lottery, and so on. So there's many different use cases for an oracle, but 80% of all dApps and DeFi need an oracle, and the number one oracle in the space, without question, is Chainlink. So that's the only thing you know about. Like, if you know just the elevator speech for Chainlink, what is Chainlink? It is the number one oracle in DeFi, and it provides price information to smart contracts. That's the number one takeaway. Now, I provided this chart before in a couple other videos, but here's another. If you go to CoinGecko and look up Chainlink, you will find a button here that's the Oracle button. You click that button, and you will wind up getting, like, the top Oracle list. It'll show you the 30-ish oracles that they track and categorize, and it shows that Chainlink is so far out ahead of everyone else. It's probably 80% of the oracle space, if not more. The rest of them don't even add up to 20%. So Chainlink is the number one oracle that's in DeFi. It's what everyone bases off of. It's the number one. They're almost synonymous. That when you think of oracles, you think of Chainlink. So I dug a little bit more information. I think a lot of people are familiar with Chainlink. It's a top 20 coin. Most people have heard about it. It's been a huge boon for the last 2 years and helped really kick off the DeFi space and make it what it is today. And it's still nascent. It's still growing. It's still just getting started. So Chainlink has a lot of upside. A couple of videos that I walked through. Elliot Trades Crypto. He talks about Link a lot. So does Coin Bureau, which is right here. And there's a third strong video that comes out from the Exodus Wallet team that talks about what Chainlink is. I will include one last video. There's tons of video on Link and oracles. So while you may be familiar from the term of oracle from a few of our popular movies in the past, but unlike the Matrix, we're not looking for one person to tell us our fate here. What we're looking for is the oracle to give us the price information, and information that's not available on the blockchain to the blockchain via a smart contract. And that's what Chainlink does, as well as some other oracles. But the number one oracle in all of DeFi and all of crypto right now is Link. So that's the simple answer. You can delve into hundreds of videos and articles about what Chainlink is, but the nutshell is that it gives the information to the blockchain for it to make smart contract decisions. And now it's time to take a look at the charts for Link. Looking at our two normal charts, we have Link against the US dollar, and we also have Link against Bitcoin. So I've taken some liberties in drawing ahead of time for a Link on the US dollar. It's a tricky chart, and what I've done is I've looked at both Elliott Wave and some Fibonacci stuff here. And what I see looking at the weekly view, zooming out more than a year, I see a long-term 5-wave Elliott Wave theory pattern that has now done a correction wave. So an Elliott Wave typically goes up in a 5-step pattern. It goes up 1, down 2, up 3, down 4, then up 5, and that's pretty much the peak. And we're pretty close to that. This actually mapped out pretty well to a 2.6 Fibonacci from the size of wave 4. So that seemed to make some sense. And then what happens after you get to 0.5 on the Elliott Wave, often what you have is an ABC correction, which is a down, up, down pattern. So it seems to me that this whole pattern is played out now for Link, and we're almost at the reset time to move up again stage for Link. Now, I added another element here, which is the RSI and the stochastic RSI. I won't go into too much of this, but basically what it says is when this is way below the purple line, it tends to go up thereafter. We are way below the purple line again. So again, everything seems to be indicating to me that long-term Link is in an upward trajectory. From this point, I cannot say when it'll turn up or how far it'll go. What I have marked out was where I think wave 1 will probably land. It'll land in the mid-30s to lower 40s before pulling back. And the reason I picked that is I'm just looking at what I see as resistance levels. And if I zoom in on the daily, and again, there's the blue and green chart, and let me look at the 1 year. So there's this strong peak here, and there's some valleys that line up with the blue line, so somewhere in the low to mid 30s. And then we have a couple of peaks and valleys here that hit on volume and resistance level of 40. So I would say between 30 and 40 is where wave 1 is going to go. So you're looking for a strong upside with some volume. We could get a double from here. Buying Link in the high teens. It could get to the 35 to 40 range for a double, and then may want to consider profits. Taking profits, not financial advice, of course, but this pattern of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 could be beginning again for a nice upward trajectory that could take us well into the 80s for a nice strong DeFi sector for the next bull run for the crypto market. We're not there yet. We're not quite ready to do that, but I think that we're starting to turn the corner here. Things are starting to look more positive on the daily chart. The daily chart goes a lot up and down, a lot more on the stochastic, but the weekly chart is what is indicating to me it's time to take a. If I was going to get into Link, it's a strong buy type point on the long distance viewpoint range. Looking quickly against Bitcoin, again the chart's not that telling. I do see that we're around the 5,000 sat range, and 50,000 sat range, and the recent peak was 100,000. So there's your double again. I could see a double happening against Bitcoin, and if Bitcoin gets in an upswell too, that'll tell you how high in U.S. dollar terms Link can go. It could definitely go past 40, but I would take a look at Link against Bitcoin and a Link against the U.S. dollar. Track both those things, but Link to me looks like it's at a reasonable entry level point, both against Bitcoin and against the U.S. dollar.
So there's the coin for today. It is Chainlink, otherwise known as Link. It's only about 3 years old. It did an ICO. But it's plentiful out there in the marketplace. It debuted very high into the space, and it's been in the top 100 ever since. Now sitting, I think, at coin number 15. It is the #1 Oracle coin in its category by a long shot. It lives on the Ethereum blockchain. It is a key cog for all decentralized finance. Not just for prices of coins, that's the first use case, but now other information for NFTs, random numbers, and a few other different things. So Chainlink or Link is a big piece of all the financial things going forward. And I don't think people even realize how big decentralized finance or DeFi is going to get. So with the #1 Oracle out there and the #1 coin in this space, that's a key part of DeFi. Let's see where I rank it in the coin rating system.
So now it's time to give my opinion on Link, Chainlink, and where I would rate it the coin on a new coin rating system. As always, it's a popular segment, but it's also controversial. So, review real quick. We're in Zone 2, which is the left-hand side of the board. Zone 2, the DeFi Finance, and here's where the space goes, the top of the Section 2. Zone 2, it is the Chainlink or the coin called Link. That's where Link goes. Here is what the coin rating system is. Scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the highest rating, the hotel, and 1 to 4 houses. So, moving forward, what am I going to give Chainlink? Clearly, I think it's an above average project. It's definitely above average. It's definitely a strong project. The question is, will I give it a 5 or will I give it a 4? The reason I'm going to give it what I give it, which is a 4, is for this reason only. Yes, Chainlink is the #1 Oracle. Yes, it is a top 15 coin. Yes, it is very popular. Yes, it's in a lot of DeFi space, and it's a huge player in that space, which is growing immensely. The only reason I don't give it a 5 is because this coin is tied too closely to Ethereum, which I have issues with. I think Ethereum has some concerns about their path forward, whether they're going to be okay with the miners, whether that network is going to transition well to proof of stake. And because Chainlink operates in the Ethereum platform, it's still an ERC20. That is my concern. The only thing preventing it from being a 5. I still like Chainlink. The other reason I don't give it a 5 is because of competition. Chainlink is not the only player in this space. There's Band, there's DOS, there's Zap, there's Teller. There's a lot of other oracles that are out there. But Chainlink is the #1 that's out there. Everyone knows about it. Everyone likes it. Everyone likes using it. It is essentially the industry standard for an oracle that has oracles weren't even a thing a couple years ago. DeFi wasn't a thing a couple years ago, but all of a sudden, Chainlink has burst onto the scene and been the number one oracle, and for that, it is an above average project to a strong project, no question. So I cannot give Link a 5 because of the close ties to the Ethereum platform and the other competitors that are in the space to also be oracles that have other features that Chainlink does not have.
So now we have the coin rating for Link. It is a 4 out of 5. I almost gave it a 5, but two reasons. It's on the Ethereum blockchain, which I think is going to have issues for the next year or so. And also, I think that there's a lot of competition out there for oracles. So between Band and Dust and Zap and Teller, and a whole bunch of other oracles that are out there, and a few that are even still in development, there's a lot of competition. But Link does have first mover advantage. It's the first one out there. It's the leader by far in its category. Roughly 80 to 90% of all oracle transactions are Link. It's number one for Ethereum because that's the blockchain it lives on. But I do have a little bit of concerns long term, but I think it's still a well above average coin. Somewhere between 4 and 5 is the right score for it. So getting back to the contest, here's another space on the board. Be sure to mark it down. There's still time for everyone to join and play over at LitecoinLeader.com. We're running the rest of the coins. They'll be all released by the end of July. And then all you have to do is mark down where all 35 pieces go on your board, submit it in August, still be a subscriber, and you have a chance to win the trip to Myrtle Beach. So what more could you want for a $20 subscription? So I hope to see you over there at LitecoinLeader.com. For today, I'm just going to close the drawer in the bureau, and I'll see you next time.